2008 has arrived, and we will introduce you to the 2008 Boise State coaching staff and their recruits for this 2008 season momentarily. Interesting how 17 people can mask themselves, Prater, in cardboard and come up with somewhere in a couple hundred range.
This is my favorite day of the year, me hanging out with 200 or 300 of my favorite friends.
Well, we'll see.
Can you tell?
Well, we'll see if we can entertain them over the next 3 hours because we've got a lot of things to get done. Of course, there's already been an announcement from Boise State on the recruiting class. If you're here at the Big Easy, you've already gotten the list of recruits that has been announced by head coach Chris Peterson. And the 24 players have been named. We'll talk about each one, plus the gray shirts, and we'll be speaking to some of the players who will be joining Boise State.
That doesn't happen everywhere. You don't worry about guys that you're not getting. You worry about the guys you can get. And so that's the philosophy around here. And we feel awesome about it. How they're going to be, how they're rated, I don't know.
Right.
Well, I still can't even tell you off last year's class. As good as those 5 freshmen did, and got all these kids in red shirt and we feel awesome about, we won't know for another year. Just a lot happens in that time.
Coach, to put it in perspective, you said it's got to be about the right fit. How many times a year do you take a kid who probably would commit to Boise State that you would take as a football player on the field, but he's not a good fit and you turn him down? Does that happen 4 times, 6 times, 10 times a year?
It's hard to say, you know, because we're doing so much homework on all these different kids. And you know, it happens a couple times where we'll have a kid on a visit and we'll just kind of go, boy, this isn't our guy. But usually we figure that out before we even get that far. You know, you don't want that to happen, but that does happen, and it's better late than...
You don't need a raffle ticket, because everybody that can catch gets a free prize right now. Our ticket chicks are making their way to the stage with some Syringa blown orange footballs. We're going to toss them out into the crowd. If you make a spectacular catch, Coach Pete will be watching, because there is a lot of depth at wide receiver, but you never know. You have 4 years of eligibility? All right. Girls? Woo!
First time sitting up here that we didn't win the WAC, and you know we want to get better. We want to get back to winning the WAC. So, you know, a kid like this.
Another outstanding defensive back. Let's listen a little bit more about Tyler Jackson.
Fit, you know what we do. You know, and show them, hey, you're gonna play man to man. You're gonna play zone. You go to zone blitz. You're going to blitz, and just show them we're running the same things as NFL teams running. So if you can come here and be successful and play for 2, 3, 4 years, I'm here. You know, you'll have a chance to play at the next level.
So how does it stack up then? Obviously, Brandon has an advantage. We know Kyle has opportunities. Talk about the rest of the defensive backfield going into the spring.
So we have Kyle, we have Brandon, Jerron Johnson, Jason Robinson, Keith McGowan, you know, George, G. Day, Cedric Phoebus, Antoine Murray. You know, with these 4 kids heading in, you know, we're excited. You know, we're very excited about the secondary that's coming in.
From the outside looking in, you always wanted to improve how physical your guys were.
Right.
But the guys you just named, you know, for the most part, they're willing to hit somebody, and they are bigger kids.
No question.
Does that fit the description? Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
Yeah, we're bigger. Yeah. You know, we're still a little young, so as far as knowing the game and understanding the game, that's on me, you know, and our whole staff to get these guys to understand exactly what we want them to do. But as far as being physical and athletic, we're good there.
All right,
very
Coach
good.
Marcel Yates, thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
More. Are you guys having Hi guys, I see you up there. Let's do the rest of the roll call. Who else is here? Southeast, are you in the house somewhere? Yeah, I knew there'd be a couple. And have we got Bronco Country people? And have we got Brand X people? All right, have we got Blue Turf people? I know he's around here somewhere, I saw him. All right, thanks you guys again for coming out. I think they said it's the 11th year that we've been doing this, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger every year, so we appreciate it. Give yourselves a hand for coming out.
National Letter of Intent Day Special, here live from the Big Easy, brought to you by Syringa Bank and the bookstore, the Boise State Bookstore, who's here with the 2007 season highlight DVD and other BSU merchandise. Come on by and check us out. We're here till 6 o'clock. Right now we're joined by popular linebacker coach Viliami Tuivai from BSU. Bill, how are you doing?
Caves, that depends on the vibe I get from Bronco Nation here.
That's a proper introduction then for a guy I think people
down
are
here.
cheering for.
And when you talk about linebacker playing, the guy that's going to hit you in the mouth, Byron Hout, you the man.
That's going to get you kind of pumped up, doesn't it?
That makes me just want to come down and play right now.
Players, 6th grade shirts, a kid who's already on campus. I think we heard some very impressive things. I'm sure they would like to see Coach Bill back in the next year leading the cheers.
He's pretty good at what he does, isn't he?
Well, I think that at the end of the day, what excites these coaches the most about a lot of these players is, I don't think it's always the height and weight and their 40 times. They're almost as excited about their attitude and their coachability factor, because they all have similar skill sets physically, or they would never even be recruited by most schools. And what I think BSU always thinks separates them is how coachable are they and how much they can put them into a group of guys and do something different.
Yeah, and this coaching staff, this is the 2nd, 3rd, 4th straight year this has gone on for since back in the Dan Hawkins era, where they sit up here and they talk about the fit. And it's not so much how much you can lift or how fast you can run. For some of these guys, that is important, but it's all about the fit. And again, Boise State got 24 guys that these coaches, you can look at them when they're talking. They're absolutely in love with these guys, and they're going to come in and join the Boise State family. And that's incredible. That's how Boise State's become so successful. Not about the Pac-10 talent, not about that kind of stuff. It's about the fit and playing together as a team.
That'll be an interesting group to see them when they all start hitting, some in the spring and most of them obviously in the fall. And some of these kids, like, I know there's going to be a lot of expectations now on Byron Hout. I mean, he's not going to be able to shake the Brian Johnson, Corey Hall, Byron Hout. I think people want to see that out of him. The coaches already are suggesting he may be that kind of kid, and I imagine it's just up to him to deliver the goods.
Yeah, and if you look at this recruiting list, there's not a huge amount of size across the board. There's some guys that are big, some guys that can grow into their size, some guys that can get bigger, but you're seeing a lot of athletes, you're seeing a lot of speed, you're seeing a lot of guys that can be flexible on the football field, you're seeing a lot of guys who can play Boise State football.
All right, we got to thank a lot of people. Chris Fetters from Scott.com did a lot of our introductions and analysis. Of course, JP for pulling us all together. Kenny down here, I think Tom Matt was in on it as well, and Jay Bates, our 2 ticket chicks. Emily was back there working the KTIK booth. Brad LaRondo, Adam Parker from Boise State, Syringa Bank, the BSU Bookstore, Rocketecture, Yo Sushi, Mr. Prater, all the coaches today, Yates, Tuivai, Pease, Wilcox, Bukowski, Hub, Harson, Coach Choate, Coach Josh, and of course, Coach Pete, and our players, Iloka, and Potter, and Hout, and Taylor, Gerke, Lambert, Koch, all names you'll probably be getting used to in the future. Appreciate everybody here for attending as well. Hope you guys enjoyed it. National Letter of Intent Day 2008 in the books. We'll be talking more about what the other schools in the WAC did tomorrow on Idaho Sports Talk on 1350 KTIK The Ticket, the sports station.